Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev, Karabakh under Armenian occupation is completely liberated today. After the Nagorno-Karabakh War, the historical point was put at midnight, and the Azerbaijani army recaptured Lachin 28 years later. Aliyev, who appeared on television today, proposed building a new corridor in Lachin, which is in the middle of the region controlled by Russian peacekeepers. The Kremlin declined to comment. A revolution in Nagorno-Karabakh was completely closed. A new page was opened when the occupying Armenian army withdrew from Lachin and Azerbaijani troops planted a flag in the city. Armenia, which was defeated in the 44-day war, returned the strategically important Lachin corridor after Agdam and Kelbajar as of December 1, 2020. As the victory was crowned, the streets of Azerbaijan turned to the place of Eid, and despite the cold weather, people celebrated with flags in their hands. Photos of people celebrating the victory in convoys in Baku, the capital, were served to the world. In the photos, those who kissed the Azerbaijani flag, chanted slogans, and couldn't hold back tears stood out. Lachin people, who also live in the Azerbaijani city of Berde, are celebrating wildly. In the square you can see the flags of Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Pakistan. Lachin folk songs are sung. Azerbaijani leader Ilham Aliyev, who appeared on television today, addressed the public after the historic victory and spoke about the future of the city of Lachin. President Aliyev said that before the occupation, 50,000 people lived in the Lachin region. The current population exceeds 80,000. Referring to the November 10, 2020 agreement signed with Russia and Armenia, Aliyev said, "The city of Lachin is in the middle of this corridor. In my talks with the Russian president, I said that the city of Lachin should come back to us. Therefore, we propose to build a new corridor," he added. This corridor will be under the control of Russian soldiers. Armenian forces used to control this place. The first version of the declaration, signed on November 10, 2020, contained an article on the stay of this place under the control of Armenian forces. I objected to that. In the first version, it was proposed that the depth of the Lachin corridor should be 30 kilometers. I objected to that, too. It was later proposed that the corridor be 10 kilometers wide. I also objected to this, and it was agreed that the width should be 5 kilometers. 5 kilometers is enough for the security of both US and the Armenians living in Nagorno-Karabakh. Although the deal lasts 3 years, we can do it sooner. When the new corridor is ready, your Lachin will come back to us. There is no statement from Russia yet on Aliyev's exit, Russian media reported, which Russia declined to comment on. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, who was planning talks in Russia, faced an unexpected surprise. All attempts by the Armenian administration for a Pashinyan-Putin bilateral meeting failed, and the trip to Russia was cancelled. The Russian Defense Ministry says Russian peacekeepers who settled in the region after the November 10, 2020 agreement are controlling traffic in the Lachin corridor. The Lachin corridor is the only link between Armenia and Kankendi, the capital of Nagorno-Karabakh, which no country in the world recognizes in the new table. Peacekeepers ensure the safety of civilian vehicles and the passage of residents through the Lachin corridor, the transport of food and various goods, the safety of those who restore infrastructure, the Russian Defense Ministry said. During the clashes, those who fled to the inner regions of Armenia returned to Nagorno-Karabakh on buses. Russia has so far reported that 26,000 migrants have been transported. Russian peacekeepers were stationed in 23 separate locations in Nagorno-Karabakh. Images of Russian engineers building reinforcements checkpoints were shared on social media. On the Armenian side, an unusual meeting took place today, and U.S. Ambassador to Yerevan Lynn Tracy met with new Defense Minister Varshak Harutyunyan. During the meeting, the ambassador was informed about the return of prisoners, the search for missing soldiers, and the exchange of bodies. Harutyunyan, an advisor to Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, who took the seat of David Tanoyan, who resigned after the loss of the war, said the meeting took place at the request of the ambassador. Russian leader Vladimir Putin said in November that it would be suicide if Armenia reneged on the defeat deal. Recalling that no one knows Nagorno-Karabakh, including Armenia, Putin said, "The final status of Karabakh has not been determined. We agreed that the status quo that exists today will continue. What happens next will be decided by future leaders, who will be involved in this process in the future," he said. Sunday, September 27, 2020, clashes in Nagorno-Karabakh began in the morning with Armenia violating the ceasefire. Nagorno-Karabakh is recognized as part of Azerbaijan by the United Nations, UN, and the international community. However, some areas in and around Nagorno-Karabakh, which accounts for about 20% of Azerbaijan's territory, have been under Armenian occupation since the early 1990s. The region was declared a Nagorno-Karabakh Republic in 1991. But no country, including Armenia, recognized this place internationally. Nagorno-Karabakh, Upper Karabakh, which covers an area of 4,400 square kilometers in the South Caucasus, has been waiting for a solution for many years as the biggest problem between Azerbaijan and Armenia. The word origin of the Nagorno-Karabakh region consists of a mixture of several different languages. Even a few languages found in its name show how the region has been exposed to the transition between different cultures throughout history. Nagorny, or Nagorno, in English is Karabakh. The word Nagorny means mountainous, in Russian. In Azerbaijani, just like in Turkish, it is referred to by the words Daglik or Yuksari, which means mountainous. Karabakh, on the other hand, is a common word in Turkish and Persian, meaning black garden. In a referendum held on December 10, 1991, which was boycotted by Azerbaijanis remaining in the region, Armenians voted to leave Azerbaijan. After the referendum, the independence of Nagorno-Karabakh was declared, but this initiative did not find a response in the international community. Tensions between the Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh, supported by the Armenian army, and the Azerbaijanis living in the region increased with the declaration of independence. In 1992, the conflict turned into a hot war between the Armenian army and the Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh and the Azerbaijani army. At the end of the war, the Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh took control of the entire region, as well as occupied 7 neighboring regions, rayons. Thus, the direct contact points of Nagorno-Karabakh and Azerbaijan were quite limited. The Nagorno-Karabakh conflict has been described in academic circles as a frozen conflict for years. Despite the ongoing settlement negotiations at intervals, violations of the mutual ceasefire were repeated frequently, both on the Nagorno-Karabakh-Azerbaijan contact line and on the Azerbaijan-Armenia border. 500,000 refugees took refuge in Azerbaijan and Armenia, and about 1 million people were forced to relocate. Some towns and villages that existed before the beginning of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict were completely abandoned and destroyed. More than 20% of Azerbaijan's territory was under Armenian occupation. Long live free Azerbaijan and Turkey, one nation, two states.